back, listeners, to another episode of Susan Lopresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul. This is the podcast where we explore the highs, the lows, and everything in between when it comes to a woman's life, her health, and all aspects of navigating the midlife landscape. I'm your host, Susan Lopresti, and today I have a very special guest with me, Dr. Ebru. And Dr. Ebru is an award-winning immunologist, molecular medicine expert, and the founder of AveSeena skincare, which is powered by science and guided by care. With over 25 years of research into inflammation, hormones, and immune health, she's known for translating cutting-edge science into transformative skincare and wellness with AveSeena. As both a scientist, immunologist, and a certified wellness coach, Dr. Ebru brings a very unique, holistic lens to beauty, combining emotional insight with rigorous research. Her work is rooted in the belief that beauty isn't about chasing perfection, but about restoring harmony between the body, the skin, and self. And without further ado, Dr. Ebru, welcome to my podcast. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today.
Thank you so much, Susan. It's amazing to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So let's start. You have such an extraordinary background in immunology and molecular medicine. What led you from the world of academic science into the world of skincare and wellness? What prompted that?
Yeah. Thank you. That's a great question. My path into skincare and actually the wellness, it was more than a pivot. It was an evolution of the next step because over the 2 decades, I was immersed in the academic science, all the research and researching the immune response, inflammation, why women get more autoimmune diseases and hormones, how it impacts the health. But at some point, the science became personal. I began to experience a severe adult acne when I was really stressed. It was both very painful and emotionally draining. And at the same time, my father, he got lung cancer and his skin was reacting quite painfully to this regular mastige products, skincare products. So that's the moment I saw the disconnect. Like we have the deep understanding in immunology, in dermatology, and about inflammation. However, the skincare industry wasn't translating that science into daily skincare routines. So with the science, there was no product back then in the 90s and the 2000s that was addressing what we knew about skin and how fantastic it is and how it responds to everything. So technically, I didn't step away from the science, but I brought it forward into a space where I could support everybody's daily lives and offer the science to everybody.
Right. Okay. So many of us in midlife, right, myself included, we are reevaluating our purpose. And so, how has your journey as a woman, a mom, and a scientist shaped your personal wellness philosophy?
Yeah. I mean, interestingly enough, our society thinks that as we go into the midlife, women are kind of obsolete. I think that's completely the opposite. Like, I call it the season of life. Midlife, it isn't a pause, and it's not when we women become obsolete or invisible. And this is the time where we should be doing our powerful recalibration because now the stuff we learned during when we were younger and as our bodies change,
Yes.
everything changes. So our philosophy changes and it changed every layer of my journey. So the science, the motherhood, I'm going to say the tenderness and the craziness of motherhood because everybody knows who's a mother out there. It has ups and downs and also oh yeah, up and down, up and down. And oop, and the vulnerability of building something from scratch, you know?
Yeah.
So, as a scientist, I was trained to trust the data. But when you come to the daily life and when you become a mother, and I want to make a side note, I became a mother when I was 49.
Oh,
Oh yeah. So, like most of the celebrities say, "Oh, I gave birth at 45. I'm awesome." It's like, "No, I beat you all to it. I gave birth at 49." So, but then you learn a lot of stuff because your body changes a lot and you learn how to trust your instincts. And as a woman now navigating through midlife, I come to believe in something deeper. It's not about performance. It's not about perfection because you're not going to make anybody happy, even if you put your 100% performance or 100% perfection. It's about the alignment. It's about the alignment, how I feel, what you need, how you care about yourself every day. Now that is perfection. And that's my philosophy. So in that case, wellness is not something else to master. It's your return to your settings, like factory settings. Because when you're
yes,
born, when I'm watching my toddler now, she's constantly happy. She's happy all the time. And that was our factory setting. We
yes,
were supposed to be happy all the time and be happy in our well-being, right?
yes,
But the noise, the society gives, the social media gives, you don't need more noise. You need a deeper relationship with yourself. And when we're giving up ourselves to the noise and getting lost in it, our skin is the first one to speak and say, you're depleted, you're overwhelmed, and you're unbalanced. You got to stop. Something is not working here. So
yes.
that was one of my things. I mean, I saw those signs many times over.
Let me ask you, how do you tune out the noise? What do you personally do
How
to
do I
tune
tune
it
out
out?
the noise? These days I'm into roses.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not available to everyone to have a little, garden and stuff. So
oh, that's
at our backyard, I created like these tiny pots and started planting roses and some tomatoes for my toddler. And I realized I started, tuning out the noise because I'm looking at the flowers, and the smell of the soil is so invigorating, that also trying to sit down for 15 minutes and not talking to anyone. That's something that helps. But, just getting out in the morning, looking at the sun, having a cup of coffee, and just try to listen to the wind, to everything and
yeah.
any other than that. That's how I'm trying to tune out the noise.
It's so true. I used to live in a house and I loved gardening. I loved being in the dirt and planting and watching things bloom and, the whole process. And I miss that terribly. I really do. And I was thinking that you were going to say that you meditate or you do yoga. But when you said roses, it just brought me back to when in the springtime I would be planting. I'd go to the nursery and buy all these plants and plant, and I just loved it. It was, I don't know, being close to the earth really does something to me, and being in nature, it just seems to release all the stress. I live in the city limits, and so, there's buses going past my house all the time, and so there's nothing like that. I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about inflammation, hormones, and the immune system, because I know that you often speak about the signs of inflammaging.
Yeah.
So, can you explain what that means for women in midlife and why we should care about that?
Definitely. And this is such an essential topic we need to talk about. But first, let me explain the inflammation. So, right now in the industry and in the social media, everybody talks about inflammation is bad.
Yeah.
But inflammation isn't inherently bad. So, without the inflammation, we will die.
Right.
because that is our built-in repair mechanism and defense mechanism. So when you get a pimple or a sunburn, inflammation shows up, help you to heal your defense system, and it's brilliant when it's balanced. And this is
Yes.
your acute inflammation. What is bad is when inflammation becomes chronic and, for example, it gets really high and it doesn't turn off. Now that is bad. That's your chronic inflammation. Inflammation is a one grade lower. It's subtle, it's micrograde, it's constant, and it starts working against you. And it's this quiet enemy, unfortunately. And this is what we call inflammation. Inflammation is a combination of two words, inflammation plus aging.
Mhm.
And what it does, it contributes to biological premature aging. And over time, it weakens the skin barrier, it disrupts the collagen production, and accelerates the cellular aging. So for women in midlife, this matters even more because there is additional stress. And as our estrogen declines, our natural anti-inflammatory defenses also starts to decrease. So this means the skin may become more reactive, slower to repair, more prone to dryness and sagging and uneven tone. And you already are stressed with your work, with your life and lifestyle and all that. So all that adds up. It's an additive effect, additive cumulative effect, let's call it.
Right.
But here's the hopeful part. We can reduce the inflammatory triggers like the stress and the lifestyle and support skin's immune regulation through barrier repairing actives, choosing the right products, also internally with antioxidant support with foods. Lifestyle shifts are amazingly important, and these can help slow down the inflammation dramatically. So, I mean, we're gonna have it. Midlife is not easy.
Right.
Decreasing estrogen and progesterone, definitely not easy,
Right.
but there is a way to calm this slow burn down beneath the surface.
What signals inflammaging to turn on? Is it our lifestyle? Is it the diet that we're eating, our environment, or a combination?
It's a combination, and one of them is chronic stress.
Yes.
So, like, when you're younger, you're getting less stress. And now, as we get older and when we move into the midlife and with the changing world events, chronic stress has increased dramatically, very much. So that's one of the under discussed drivers of aging.
Yeah.
So when we're under long-term emotional stress, our brain activates the hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal axis. That's the HPA. And it floods your system with cortisol. That's the primary stress hormone, right? So cortisol does a few things to the skin. It breaks down the collagen, elastin, impairs the skin barrier, suppresses the immune function, which could make the skin more reactive and slower to heal. And also it increases the oxidative stress, inflammation, which both accelerate aging. So this is why stress doesn't only make us feel tired, but that also makes us look tired.
Yeah.
So if you're not sleeping enough,
I was
if
just, yeah.
like if you are eating fast foods too much, these all add to the bodily stress, let's call it. And the brain doesn't know if you're fighting or running away, after when you're stressed. So it cannot defend itself and it cannot say, she's just stressed, stop releasing all the cortisol. The brain doesn't understand that. The brain's primary duty is to protect you. So, regulating stress isn't just about mental health, it's essential to the bodily health and also to hormonal health as well.
Right. Do you feel that processed foods have an effect on your stress level physically or emotionally?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
For example, let's say you are used to eating high calorie, high carbohydrate foods, let's say milkshakes and fries every day. Who doesn't? I mean, it was great when you were young, but as
Yes.
you get older, it's not that easy anymore. But what that does is it does spikes in your insulin levels. So it goes up and down. So of course, it's also kicking up your endorphins up really quick. That's why we like fast food. I mean, even I like fast food because it
Yeah,
makes you happy for a second, but then it goes down again. So those spikes in the body doesn't like spikes. It likes homeostasis, it likes the balance. So those ones also add into inflammation and also the stress on the body. So
right.
it's not easy to eat healthy. I know, we're all human. I mean, who doesn't like fries?
Right. Yes, it's true. But in moderation, if every once in a while you have French fries, that doesn't have the same effect on you as if you're going to a fast food restaurant every day and getting a Big Mac and French fries and you're eating it every day. I think moderation really is key, where the majority of your diet should be whole, clean foods.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I
Because
mean,
we're all human, right?
yeah,
And
you need a break. We
right,
all need a break.
right.
It could be one glass of wine, it could be good French fries or a yummy ice cream. Boy, I'm getting hungry now. But
Just
but
thinking about it,
oh
right?
yeah, just thinking about it, right?
Yeah, and
I'm
we
bad.
can't deprive ourselves of everything. I mean,
No,
honestly.
no. And especially when you're working that hard and you're caring for everybody, you got to care for yourself too. And you can have a little reward. It's just don't
Right.
have it every day.
Right, exactly, exactly. So let's go on to talk about clean beauty and science-backed wellness. The clean beauty space is really, it's full of buzzwords, right? So what does science-forward skincare mean to you, and how is your company, AveSeena, different from the rest?
Sure. I mean, you're right. Clean beauty space is full of buzzwords. Even clean beauty sometimes is a buzzword if it's used not in the correct way. So, science forward skincare for us, it's not a trend, it's a commitment. So, how this commitment is, you research the papers on PubMed, which is available to everybody, by the way. You go to
Yes.
PubMed. And like I personally don't like trends. So trend means it's something fleeting, something temporary. But science is not temporary. Science comes with the proven data and the scientific articles and all that. So what we do is we go onto PubMed, for example, niacinamide, right? We go on the PubMed, look at the newspapers, see if there's a new data on the dosage or how it helps the skin or the immunity, that kind of thing. So our commitment to understanding this is what's really happening beneath the surface when skin is going through all these changes that we're not prepared for. That's where the science forward part comes in.
Hmm.
So with AveSeena, how are we different? That's a very good question because the market is full of skincare products filled up from a stock formulator, for example, and in a fancy little packaging and lots of PR. And I completely get that. However, as a consumer, I am tired of seeing that. So with the AveSeena, what we did, instead of having one hero ingredient, we combined several hero ingredients in one formula because we don't want you to go out and get zillions of creams to solve 5 different problems. A good formulation can solve all those problems with one cream or one serum. That's doable. So, I mean, if you're overwhelmed suddenly with the choices that feel clean and that is not doing anything or worse, not making things worse, we definitely want you to research.
Hmm.
And the way we do formulation is we formulate on based on decades of research into immune system, inflammation, and hormonal shifts, as well as skincare. My PhD research was the impact of estrogen, the sex hormone, and estrogenic chemicals on the immune system and on how women get more autoimmune diseases compared to men. And there's a significant impact of estrogen and the estrogenic chemicals on the immune system. It pushes towards autoimmunity. So AveSeena harnesses all this information and gathers it in the formulas.
So, what are some of the diseases that are reflected in that for women?
Well, women get more rheumatoid arthritis,
Oh,
lupus, Hashimoto's, thyroiditis, and it's just fascinating. And it's so hard on women. For example, 9 women get autoimmune disease of these ones that I just listed, but only 1 man gets it. I mean, that's estrogen there.
yes,
And
I have Hashimoto's disease.
you know how hard it is then.
Yes. And I got it when I was in midlife going through perimenopause.
Okay. So everybody gets it at a different, like, so is the estrogen the only culprit? No, there's also the genetic aspect to it. For example, women, if they have a genetic prevalence for it, there's the double whammy because if it's on the X chromosome, and we have double X chromosomes, right? So that makes the women more susceptible compared to the men.
Yeah.
It's not easy to be a female.
No, no. Being a female is not for sissies, that's for sure. Most men wouldn't be able to handle it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about you created immuno. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, beauty technology. So walk us through how this supports the skin on a deeper level.
So your skin has an immune system, right? So before COVID, I was trying to explain this to everybody. And with the COVID, everybody learned about the immune system, which was amazing. I loved it at that aspect because it brought out another knowledge into light. So your skin immune system is powerful and it protects you every day. So it's your defender, your private army, you call it, SWAT team. But when the system gets overwhelmed with stress, age, environment, or even the wrong skincare, it gets stuck in the defense mode, as we explained it in inflammaging. So when you see a flare up, a reactivity, a dullness, or a sensitivity that comes out of nowhere,
Mhm.
that's your skin trying to talk to you and say, I need help. Can you help me? I'm not happy here. So the dermoimmunobeauty technology is how we speak to that system with the ingredients that help support and work with the skin, but not work against it. So by selecting the right ingredients and combining the right ingredients in one formula, we help the skin barrier and nourish the microbiome and calm signs of inflammation at the source. So we do not believe in suppressing the symptoms and making it look pretty. We
Right.
believe in restoring the balance from within and over the surface. So all over. So I mean, this technology is teaches your skin to exhale, to take a breather. So that's what we focus on.
Right. It's interesting. The other day, I was listening to a talk, and they were saying how during COVID, let's go back to that for a moment, everyone was using hand sanitizer, which is actually counterintuitive because our skin already has everything that it needs in the microbiome to protect against germs. And what we were doing was we were eliminating them by constantly putting hand sanitizer on our skin. And we thought we were doing something good where actually it was the reverse. Do you agree with that?
Well, I'm going to go back to what you said, everything in moderation.
Yeah.
So, use too much hand sanitizer, it's going to, or even, ethanol, like 70% rubbing alcohol, basically, in most of the hand sanitizers, they're alcohol based.
Yes.
You're going to work against yourself. But sometimes you need it, like if you touch a bad, dirty surface and you don't know what's on it and you don't have access to clean water and soap, what are you going to do? The best next thing is a hand sanitizer or wipe your hands with a wet wipe, which I carry all the time thanks to my toddler now.
Yes.
you know, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. So, yes, everything in moderation. Keep the
Okay.
hand sanitizer, but don't go extreme. So, I like soap and water the best.
Yes.
It's the best. And after that, if you feel dry, just use a hand cream and, go from there.
Right. So the mind body skin connection. You're a certified wellness and health coach. How do you integrate the mind body connection into your own life and brand mission?
So that's a very good question because everybody thinks that when you say mind or mental health, it's like, oh no, I don't want to talk about it. Still, people are kind of afraid to talk about it, but there's nothing to stigmatize there. Uh,
Right.
and the mind, let's put it this way: the soul, your stress, the mind, the body, everything is connected. Everything. So if you're stressed, it's going to send signals to your body and say, oh, you're stressed. You need to go into survival mode, right? And then it's going to mirror out on your skin. Everything inside eventually mirrors out. Like keeping the truth inside. The truth always reveals, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't lie. You're depleted, it shows. You're anxious, it shows. You're tired, it shows. And we are taking care of everyone but ourselves. And then it really shows. So, how does it connect to my own life and the brand mission? My own life, I'm saying these, but I'm also preaching to myself at the same time.
Yeah.
We
You
gotta
have to be
calm
still.
down. Like
Yeah.
the anxiety we put on ourselves when you, well, let me give you this. I try to do this sometimes. Like if I get really, really bad anxiety, right? I'm worried about something. I try to take a breather and say, are you going to worry about this in 3 years or next year? And if the answer is no, I was like, okay, let's move on. So that little checkup helps.
Yeah.
And how does it tie into the brand mission? So with our skincare and wellness products, we do all the tests possible under the sun, and we follow the European Council cosmetic regulations because we don't want, and I don't want to worry when I'm using a product. As a consumer, I want to pick up the product and use it happily. I don't have to think, is this clean? Did they do these tests? Is it cruelty free? Is it? I don't want to think about it.
Yes.
I just want to enjoy it. So the brand mission is this: use the cream, be happy, look at the results, be happy. That's it. It's a very positive messaging. And we don't believe in fear mongering, by the way. I really don't like fear mongering.
Right, right. I want to go back to your perspective on mindfulness or meditation when it comes to immune health or aging. What impact do you think that has on?
Oh, it's a big impact, big impact. So there was a study from like 5, 6 years ago done in Canada, academic publication. And what they were looking at was they took two groups of women who were breast cancer survivors and they measured their telomerase activity. So what telomerase does, it can chew on the telomeres at the end of the chromosomes and can cause problems in the long run. And especially this is evident in more cancer patients. So with these groups, one group was placebo, didn't get anything. One group got mindfulness trainings, every week. One group got meditation, and the other group got yoga and meditation. And then after at the end of this study, they looked at the telomerase activities. So the placebo group was the same, didn't change at all from time 0 to 3 months later.
Mhm.
But the group that did meditation plus yoga had lower telomerase activity. That was pretty fascinating to me. So
Yeah,
that tells you even that 15 minutes of meditation every day, you can make a physical change in your body without even you knowing it, which is for your own good. So it's fascinating. So when we practice mindfulness or meditation, so mindfulness could be even breathing exercises, right? It sounds like a big thing, but just go somewhere in the corner, breathe for 5 minutes, and just close your ears, don't hear anybody. Even that, it helps the cortisol to drop and helps the immune function to improve. And something else shifts. I mean, we stop pushing ourselves too hard. We stop fighting the mirror. We just let go.
Yeah.
We let it flow. So that changes how we age on every level.
Right. Right. I know you talked about gardening and your roses. Is there any other wellness ritual that you personally swear by?
Uh,
Especially when you feel really overwhelmed or out of balance. And I know that you are juggling a lot of different things. You're a mom, you're a doctor, you're a wife. I mean, that in itself is a lot on your plate.
it is. And everybody has a lot on their.
Yes.
So I try to simplify things,
Oh,
simplify my skincare, simplify my life. As I said, if I'm not going to worry about in a year, let
right.
it go. And, sometimes a few drops of face oil that we have, silence, no phone, nothing. And, even just standing under the shower doing nothing, just feeling the water for a couple minutes. That is my wellness ritual. So you can open up these tiny little places or times of ritual for yourself.
Right. Right. What drives you to keep going, like on very hard days? What's the motivating factor that pushes you forward?
You can do it.
Yes.
You can do it. You know, when we're growing up as females, we were always mansplained, right? Or said, oh, you're a girl, you can't do that. When I was a kid, that drove me nuts. I mean, you know, and especially, when I was in New York, when I was growing up there in the 70s, the boys would say, oh, you can't do that. And I was like, no, I can do that. I even have a picture when I'm like fighting with them. My dad took it and I'm like yelling at them, trying to explain, yes, I can do it. And, like that was the thing. I can do it. And it gets tired sometimes. And you start talking to yourself in your brain. That's going to sound weird.
No,
But I say, Ebru, you can do this. They did it. You can do it. What's the difference between you and them? And that's what I'm trying to teach my toddler because she comes and says when things get tough and rough, and she's like, for example, she can't open a bottle. I can't do this. I'm like, kid, you can do anything.
yes.
We can do anything. I mean, the things that women go through
Yeah,
midlife, hormonal changes, give it to a guy. See what's going to happen.
they could never.
There is there is this video on YouTube. So they have this electrical stimulation machine kind of thing. And they give electrical stimulation to these guys. They put it on their tummy for period pain, for pregnancy pain, giving birth pain. Guys were like fainting because it hurts so bad. I'm like, yeah. And I'm showing to my husband, do you see this? This don't mess with me. I'm getting the sicker, but don't mess with me. But that's the thing. Women are amazing.
Yes,
Amazing. I mean, women with 5 kids, that's my superhero. I only have one. And it just baffles my mind,
I
you know?
know. I know. It is incredible. It is. So I want to talk a little bit more about your skincare line. What products do you have? Like a cleanser and a moisturizer? What are your products?
Sure. As we said, simplicity, right? We don't believe in 10-step Korean skincare routine
Oh,
because that breaks you out. I know it because I tried. It wasn't a fun experience. But so with AveSeena, we have a cleanser, a serum, a face oil, a honey mask based on 90% honey, by the way, and a cream you can use day and night. So that makes 6 products. And also, we also have a UV Shield facial analyzer, and we just came up with that new. And here's why, because everybody has a sunscreen, but you don't know if you're applying the sunscreen correctly. You need a way to know if you applied it correctly. So with this little device is like a handheld mirror. It's that big. So you open it up, look at the camera, look at the screen. First, you can see your UV damage. And when you put the sunscreen on, you can see it becomes black when you apply it on the camera. It looks black. And on the website, we have all the befores and afters and all that they can see. But what is beautiful with this is it doesn't need an app. It doesn't store pictures because if you have a little one and if you want to look, because they wiggle a lot when you're trying to apply something on their
Oh,
face.
yeah.
So without saving the picture, they can look at it and you don't have to worry about their picture leaking out to the internet and whatnot. So that's one of the beauty of it.
Okay. If a woman listening today is struggling with her skin or self-confidence in midlife, what message would you want her to hear from you?
That's a good one. That's a very good one. And that's, I even need to sometimes someone to tell me what's going on. Because here's what we need to know. We're not broken. Your skin is not broken. Your beauty didn't vanish. You're not losing anything. You're just becoming someone new. You're evolving, you know? And this shift feels unsettling. I feel the shift every day. And it sometimes I'm like, I didn't look like this. My nose didn't look like this, you know? And as you get older, your nose gets bigger, by the way. It's kind of weird, but I realized that the other day. But it's change, and change is inevitable.
Yeah.
So this is where the women's power begins. We can adapt so easily. We can find solutions to everything so easily. And it's not about fixing, it's about remembering. Remember who you are. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel good in your skin, in your body, and softness is your strength. Your mind is your strength. And this reflection, you might be changing, but your worth is not. You're worth more because you have this experience. So the more grace you give yourself, I think the more radiance returns because the radiance comes from within, with hope. And, you know, you show up for yourself. And that's what it is.
Yeah, I like that you said that as you're aging, you're becoming new. It's something new. But most women, as we're aging, and myself as well, I mean, I'm 65. When I look in the mirror, I don't see it as something new. I see it as something old. But in reality, we're so much more as we are aging because we have so much more experience and life lessons and revelations and awareness than we did when we were younger. But when we were younger, we had more beauty or youthfulness, but
Yeah.
we're still always beautiful. So I love that you said that. I
Yeah.
really do.
I mean, there is also an evolutionary explanation to that. So when we're young, we're pretty, right? So the main point of nature, and it's for reproduction, the female needs to look pretty. In
Yeah.
the bird world, the guys look pretty. I don't know why, but the guys do the hard work in the bird world. But with humans, females look pretty. But I wish I had my brain and my understanding and my experience that I have now, and I could have given that to my 25-year-old.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, your frontal cortex development doesn't end until you're 25. So nothing has settled yet. So that's why all the impulses, I need to try this, I need to try that. Oh, I'm in love again. That comes from that. But as we age, as we mature, let's put it that way. I don't
Yeah.
like the word age, but as we mature, your frontal cortex gets bigger and better. And that's when you have the wisdom and the experience, all that saved in there. So your brain is developing. It's becoming newer because you're opening up these new pathways in your brain to learn new stuff. That's why they say, keep on reading, keep on
Yes.
like learning new stuff because it's the frontal cortex. But that's the thing, because as you get older, evolutionary, you are the keeper of knowledge now. That's a very interesting balance there.
Yes. Yes, that's so true. I love that perspective. I love that.
Yeah.
Really good. Dr. Ebru, where can my listeners find your products?
Well, they can find it on our website, and it's AveSeena.com, AVESEENA. We're also on Instagram with the same username, AveSeena. We have very pretty videos on YouTube, and they can find us everywhere. We're also in Equinox. If you visit New York, you can find us in Equinox and several spas.
Okay, great. Any final thoughts you want to leave us with? Words of wisdom?
Oh God. I don't dare. But I just want everybody who's listening to this. You are amazing. Don't believe anybody that says otherwise. You are amazing. You have all this life experience and use it. You're one of a kind. Don't listen to anybody. You're one of a kind. I mean, you came to this point. You're a survivor.
Yes, that's so true. Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you, my listeners, for coming on. I will leave all of Dr. Ebru's information in the show notes.